Hello, everyone. My name is Parker Christensen. I am the sales development representative at Network Center. Today, we've got here Dave Snider and Anthony Holloway with some Cisco collaboration. So a little bit about them both. Dave Snider, collaboration specialist at Cisco. Dave is a strategic product specialist at Cisco and serves accounts in the upper Midwest. Dave focuses on team and customer engagement to deliver integrated collaboration solutions that support customers and business objectives. In over 20 years of design experience, Dave worked for industry leaders in finance, communications, and service providers. Anthony, a little bit about him as well. He's a technical solutions architect and collaboration at Cisco. As a veteran of the U.S. Air Force and 22 years in the IT industry, this CCIE in collaboration and DevNet 500 member has worked for Cisco customers, consulted at Cisco partners, and now works at Cisco as a technical seller in Minnesota and the Dakotas. Without further ado, let's give it up for Dave and Anthony.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, cool. Appreciate the introduction. So it sounds like we got some at home and we got some folks here, obviously. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through our collaboration suite. So some of you may have it, some of you may don't, but we're going to run through what's included in our collaboration suite and how does it affect your business, and then maybe you know that this is included in your suite, maybe you don't. But we're going to run through a bunch of different things from calling to meetings. Maybe I'll just go to the next slide here. So what's included under a single app at the end of the day, right? You know, people are using it, your customers are using it, you're using it. So at the end of the day, we have calling, meetings, messaging, polling, Q&A. What is that? Events. What is that? You know, something similar to this, right? Live here. Streaming at home. What can we do from your WebEx suite that's all about one, user price, but what else do you get with that just besides what comes with the user? So asynchronous video, what is that? And then contact center and customer experience, right? What is that all about? The days of a voice call coming in are kind of here and gone. People want to be able to use their cell phone, use different ways to get into and communicate with your business. So we're going through all that, and when we're going through it, we're going to have Anthony here. We're doing some demoing of actually, just a quick hit of demo, some things again that we kind of highlighted here from all the different suites or parts of the suite, so you can go through that and see that. Just a quick hit, and we can kind of go from there. All right, meetings and events. Let's just go right into it here. Meetings and events. At the end of the day, there's a lot of meeting platforms out there today. Obviously, COVID changed the world quite a bit. Prior to that, meetings was meetings, but it wasn't a really huge thing. Drastically changed, obviously, a few years ago. And we have a really good meetings platform at the end of the day. From sharing to presentations to award-winning audio intelligence. What that means is if you got the dog in the back barking, there's a little button that will click and turn that whole thing away. And so you don't hear the dog in the bark. And I can have Anthony do a barking noise if I want and click it off, and that goes away, right? So there's lots of things we can do there from this meetings platform. Everyone's used the meeting platform. Everyone knows how to use it. But we got a lot of different features from like the tile presence at the top, changing that, changing your audio, changing different things. And we can remotely connect to video devices and use that as our audio video directly from this meetings app. So I'm on my computer, I can just remotely connect to a video device, and away I go, and now that's my video and my audio directly without a cable, without anything. It's just right there. So that's the meeting app. But what else comes with the meeting app is Slido, so polling. Different things. Before a meeting was a meeting at this very moment in time, real time. Let's talk about it. And we take notes and we go from there. Well, now we have the ability, which Anthony will show here in a little bit, what we called Slido. So Slido is integrated into your meetings platform, all part of it, where you can do polls, you can ask questions, you can do different things right during that meeting, and then find out what you think and then take the answers, take the notes, or Q&A. I want to know more tell me more about this meetings thing. You can put that question right in the meeting and then come up with different answers right there. And the cool part is, or you could send a pre-poll. Hey, we're going to have this meeting in 2 weeks. We want to know what you think about X, Y, Z. Tell us what you think, poll, and now I get the answers prior to the meeting of what we want to talk about. Or maybe I want to change what we want to talk about from that poll. Or what we'll show you after this meeting, we're going to have a little Slido QR code. We want to know what you guys thought of us, what you thought of the platform and different things. pre, post, during. You can use this Slido application integrated right into your meetings. And then, perfect example into this is our pre-in-event, post-event. If anyone has seen WebEx1, that was just 2 weeks ago, that was done by a platform called Socio. So Socio is a events platform, like similar to what we're doing today, live streaming with on-site folks, registering for classes, registering for events, going through that, coming back, and maybe I have a store where I want to buy something within an event, or maybe I want to go back and review that. Like I missed that particular event, but I want to go back and go back and see it. We can do all that again, all included in the one cost of your WebEx Meetings platform. You can do it all. So it's giving you a lot of different options besides meetings is the point when we get into, we're just talking about meetings. It's not just a meetings platform anymore. It's a whole polling, event, pre-post, all that kind of good stuff. And so maybe now we're going to have Mr. Anthony do a quick demo of Slido. So we'll just go over here.
All right, thanks, Dave. So actually I'm going to cover Slido first, but then we're going to go into closed captioning and transcriptions, followed by reactions and chats, and WebEx Assistant. These are all features of WebEx meetings that just make working with hybrid workers that maybe can't be in person, they have to attend while they're taking care of the chores at home, for example, and they can't speak, but they maybe can read something or they can send a reaction, right? So we're gonna see a little workflow here where I have a user on this screen that you're seeing that's gonna start their meeting. This is the host of the meeting. And then on another screen, I'm going to actually show you a user who is the participant. So I'm going to just slide over really quick here. And in this case, this user actually sees that they have a demo meeting here starting, and they're going to go ahead and join that. All right, perfect. So now I have both users in the meeting, the host and the attendee. I'm going to just open up the participants panel here for a second so that as I slide back and forth between the two screens, you can actually differentiate which one is which. I understand that can be confusing. So let's go ahead and start with Slido. What Slido is an app integration into WebEx meetings. You can either build your Slido Q&A and polling ahead of time and then bring that in, so it's a little bit of prep you could do, or if you just want to build it ad hoc, you could do that as well. So I'm going to click down here on my apps drawer. I'm going to find one of many apps that have been preloaded for me. There's probably, 50 or so that you can pick from over on apphub.webex.com. Slido just happens to be the one that we're going to demo today. I can read just a little bit about this to gain some confidence before I start using it, but like I said, essentially you can either pre-populate this on slido.com and then bring in these polls, the Q&A and all that from something you built ahead of time, or you can do what I'm about to do now, which is actually just do something ad hoc. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new Slido here. And a Slido is really nothing more than another layer of engagement with your audience. Sometimes there are people who are more quiet, and there's more outspoken people in a room. And so quiet people need to have a voice and be able to be heard as well. And having this extra channel in a meeting allows me to do things like a word cloud. And I can just say things like, how are we feeling today? And then when I launch this word cloud, my participants, so I'm going to slide that over this way, you'll notice that the Slido panel is opening automatically for them. So I didn't have to instruct them to do anything. They just simply had to be in the meeting. And I can just say, great here. And then as more people in the meeting, like say this is a meeting of 20 people or so, as more people start feeding this content, then I, as the presenter, can start seeing the results in a word cloud where things that maybe are bubbling up, like perhaps my audience today is tired, right? It's the end of the day today here for us in the room. We've been through quite an extraneous day. We're looking forward to the closing ceremonies and the door prizes, so maybe you could put tired in here or something like that. I can also then launch the Q&A portion. So polls are plentiful, multiple choice, word cloud, quizzes, things like that. Q&A is simply a side channel, which is sort of like chat, where my audience can ask questions to me, the presenter, or any panelist that I have in the meeting with me. So I'm going to go ahead and enable this now, where they may not feel like raising their hand and speaking up, right? Like maybe you guys in the room right now have a question that you would like to ask, but you're not necessarily wanting to be like maybe on camera or have all the attention on you. So what you would do is, as a participant in my meeting, you would just simply ask the question. I'll just say like, how old are you? All right, so my participant has submitted a question. All participants see the question being submitted. They see that it's not answered yet. If I actually saw a question that I had as well, I could give it a little thumbs up and start voting this up so that the highest ranked questions are on top. My panelists can actually see that a new question has come in. I'm going to go ahead and answer this now. I'm 40 years old, so I will type 40 there. And the person who asked the question, along with all the other participants, can see that that question has now been answered. So as you can imagine, the presenter's speaking, they're on a roll, they got to get through their slides, they're on a time crunch, but there's a side channel happening, this extra layer of interaction where Q&A can occur in the meeting without disrupting the flow of the speaker. And something that you've been seeing this entire time that I haven't addressed is the fact that I'm speaking and what I'm saying is coming out on screen. This is our closed captioning service. My attendee here is actually not in the audio portion of this meeting. Maybe they're perhaps at home and their headset died because we always forget to charge our AirPods or what have you. But they want to be able to participate and hear what's being said. Well, in this case, they're reading what's being said. So it's not necessarily just a use case for, let's say, hearing impaired individuals. It can also be a use case for when you're in this hybrid work mode and you're in an environment where you can't play audio out loud and you simply left your headset dongle at home. So your Lightning to 3.5 millimeter dongle is not in your pocket. I can also use this same exact feature here. It's just a matter of switching which language I want this to show up in. For example, I will pick, let's see what's going to be a fun one here. This one. Let's pick this one. This looks very interesting. And as I start speaking now, you can see that it's actually translating my text that I'm speaking in real time for that participant. So I don't even have to be on the same playing field as them in terms of known spoken languages or understood languages. I don't have to hire interpreters that interpret for us in real time, though that is something you could do if you needed to. I can actually leverage the power of AI and the platform here to translate my voice in real time. Along with engagement and like getting a sense of how my audience is feeling, right? I gave that word cloud to say, how are we feeling today? And someone said, great. I can also start speaking and maybe I'm speaking too fast. And someone's like, oh, you really got to slow this down for me, but they don't want to speak up and interject. So what we can do is introduce something called reactions at this moment. And if there was an appropriate reaction for letting the presenter or the speaker know that I want them to slow down, then I can see who is sending the reaction and what the reaction maybe tells me as the presenter of like, oh, okay, yep, I need to slow it down a little bit. Or maybe I said something like, maybe I gave it an announcement that was a long time awaited feature, right? It's been roadmapped for 6 months and it finally came out today. I'm proud to present to you this feature. I can see the cheer coming through and I know that that landed well with my audience. Perhaps my audience would actually rather use the built-in real-time chat feature of WebEx meetings instead of the Q&A panel because they want to make a comment. They don't want to ask a question. There's no need for a reply. They want to make a comment. The built-in chat panel allows that to occur. So I come back over here to my participant, and I simply say, Dave, you're looking mighty fine today.
Oh, now you're lying.
All right, and then the presenter can see that, that this chat has been in there. So we have chat, reactions, Slido, closed captioning, and translations all helping enable meetings across many different types or styles of work. And then finally, I'm going to end this on one thing that's I feel like is very underutilized, but it's a really cool feature. If anyone here is familiar with a virtual assistant such as Siri or Alexa or even your Google Home Assistant, we have the same feature built into WebEx on our meetings platform and on our devices. It's this little icon down here in the lower left corner. We call it the WebEx Assistant. And so the WebEx Assistant is now listening to what I'm saying. And if I start recording this meeting so that the record of what occurred is in the cloud, I can also now give it commands that help me to dissect the meeting and extract the important bits, such as in this example here. Okay, WebEx, mark a decision that we're going to move forward with a proposal for Friday. All right, and you can see there it says got it decision added. So what's going to happen now is I can either in real time during the meeting move over to the captions and highlights tab, where in just a brief moment here, you will see that a decision will pop up. Let me close a couple of these panels here so that's easier to see for you. So in the highlights section, this will pop up here in just one moment. We'll see that it's going to mark a decision for me. And all of these decisions, action items, summaries, to-dos, they're all available post-meeting as well, because as you saw, I started a recording. And I can send these out to all the participants so everybody can quickly identify what a decision is that needs to be made, an action item to do, or what the summary of the meeting was. Okay, and that's my demo of WebEx meetings. Back to you, Dave.
Back to me. Perfect. Thanks, Andy. So yeah, you can see a lot more than just the meeting things going on there. Again, all included with the licensing that you would purchase with the WebEx suite. So, and you're going to see a theme here as we're going through. It is all being done within the one app. It's meetings, chat, different things. It's all being done through the WebEx app. All right. So now we're going to quickly kind of jump into hybrid work. That's been a big topic today, and different things around video and different stuff. And at the end of the day, there is a lot of different places where people are going to work. Office, home office, conference room, open spaces, open offices, anywhere, right? For me, it's the anywhere because I'm always working at a coffee shop. So that's, for me, I have everything I need, though, to have the same experience within WebEx, within the platform, so every workspace. But at the end, maybe it starts with, well, maybe that's really meeting with somebody. I just want to get them a message. I want to get my team a message. I want them to go learn how to do something. This comes with every user that has a WebEx account can do what we call a vidcast or asynchronous video. We could call it different things. But this gives me the ability, as you can see, Anthony over here did one for a customer about how you can use WebEx within Microsoft Teams. And he played a video where he sent it out to the customer and said, here's how you do this, because Anthony was too busy to meet with him that particular time when he's open. So now Anthony creates a video. He's got a little face down there talking. He sends it out. The customer goes, great. Thanks for that information. No need to meet. We're good to go. So again, maybe it's not necessarily about meeting, but it's about getting them the information when they need it. Different people in the organization might want to use organization announcements. Hey, we're all going to meet here. Hey, this is what's going on from a CEO, CFO, whatever. Training guides, L&D departments could use this for, hey, welcome on board. When you get your laptop, here are the 4 things that you need to do to turn on your laptop to get things going, so you're not confused or whatever. It's just an actual thing to do, different things within your computer or whatever, or you can have the PowerPoint up and showing, or sales demos, basically anything and everything you could think of trying to show a customer, show your internal staff what to do, when to do it. It can all be done by this, and it's a very, very easy application to use. Uses your computer microphone, your computer video, all that stuff, and you send it out, right? So now I don't have to have a meeting because it's already information in front of your customer or whoever. So, and you can edit it, you can clip it, you can video, you can integrate it into your WebEx meetings. So there's a lot of different things you could do with this platform. Again, everything that comes with your suite license. End of the day, devices, right? We saw the different places where you could meet, coffee shops, all these different things. Well, I need a headset, I need a desk cam. Maybe I got a home office or an office at the corporate site where I need a phone. You saw some of the video devices we had out there today, personal video devices, or the little control hub where I can go hot desk in and just tap my phone and away I go from that particular open area, right? So we have all the user information. And then, video devices. Do you want a big board? Do you want an immersive system for the CEO to talk to different people and different things? All the way down to handsets, wireless handsets, these 840, 860s. A lot of very, very popular within healthcare, because I don't want my Persona thing, then I don't want my phone, then I don't want this as a nurse. Android-driven device. I have Epic. I have everything I need on one device that's registered to our calling platform. And it's all managed through an MDM. You can do all the security things around. So these guys are become very, very popular in healthcare. But again, at the end of the day, what device do you need for where you're working or how you're working? Pretty easy stuff. But again, lots of different options there to get through it. And then at the end, again, you saw it on our video devices out there. We get it. You may have WebEx, you may have Microsoft, we may have something different, right? But at the end, the experience needs to be the same. All of our video devices are interoperable with every single platform out there. So you may not have WebEx, but maybe your other customer does, or maybe you have Microsoft and you do, whatever. we can integrate to all of them and provide that same experience from a little desk device that we have out there to a large immersive room like we have out there, or not there, but on the screen here. At the end of the day, it all works just like it was in any video device or any video platform or meeting platform. And at the end, if all else fails, USB pass-through. Every user knows how to plug into their computer, and now they get the same experience if they're registered to a video platform or a meeting platform, or they just plugged in, and now it's just a really kick-ass video device off of your PC. So you can do different things like that. So options at the end of the day, what's best for your company or your users. And again, this is a quick example. We saw it out there on the screens. What Google, Zoom, Microsoft, Cisco, join your meeting. Hit the button. That's all you got to do. At the end, obviously Microsoft is a big player in the world, big player of different things. We just made this announcement at Cisco One, where we're actually now going to be a certified hardware vendor for Microsoft. A lot of corporations have Microsoft, they have an E5, they have different agreements. That makes sense. Well, now you could use our video platform just like any other certified Microsoft endpoint, Logitech, Polycom, those type of devices, where it's not going to run our OS, it's going to run Microsoft Teams OS. So again, the best video experience using Microsoft backend. We can argue who has the right platform from video meeting different things, but at the end of the day, it's about giving you guys options on what you want to do and how you want to do it, depending on where you're invested and where you're going. And same thing with the little camera I had out there. This guy is certified on Microsoft, so if you're on a Teams meeting, you get a phone call from maybe a different platform that knows how to bounce back and forth and not fight each other. The camera and the headsets all are certified with Microsoft. And at the end of the day, when it comes to Microsoft and hybrid work, Microsoft Teams exploded during the pandemic. We get that, we all know that. And they have different features because file storage, office productivity, emailing, calendar, that's not something Cisco does, but how do we integrate into all that stuff together? And at the end, we feel meetings, that's a crapshoot. Everyone has different meetings platforms these days, or maybe they have multiple. But from a calling and video devices, we feel we got the best out there, and now we can interop a lot easier within the Microsoft ecosystem and the different things we're doing there. So that is hybrid work, and I don't think we had any demos there for that one because we can go out there and show more if you want. But messaging. The name messaging, Teams chat has it. We actually have our own messaging platform, obviously. And we feel it's pretty good. We feel it's very comparable to Microsoft Teams. Obviously, that's out there for a lot of folks, but a lot of people don't realize that we have an enterprise-grade messaging platform today that's obviously integrated to our calling, our meetings, everything. And it provides everything that you would see here from a call control, just like you would have in Microsoft Teams. But we maybe do a little bit different. But the key point is here, we interop with Microsoft. So OneDrive, SharePoint, all the different things that people say, well, I need that Teams platform because they do it. Well, yep, they do, and they do a good job at it. But guess what? We do it as well. So if you're a calling customer of ours, you're a meeting customer of ours, we have the messaging platform to go with it. And at the end of the day, what's interesting about this is how we built this platform was from security, then we built the features. So when this first came out, it used to be called Project Square, then it was called Spark. We've called it a bunch of different things, but it was all built on security first. Security first, then well, we can't add that feature yet because it's not secure. Well, then the feature's not there. So it took us a while to get all the features and different things in there because we took the approach of, we're not going to just throw it out there and then go, oh crap, we forgot about this or we didn't do this from a security standpoint. So it's built security first, integration with Box, Google Drive, Microsoft, all that stuff is in there. But again, all the different platforms that you see in there, we now can control phones, meetings, everything, app integration that Anthony was talking about is all right from this one pane of glass, and you can get things done from there. And at the end, security is just, again, reiterating on security. We built this around security first. We have a solution that from the messaging standpoint, if you go back one, from a messaging, right? This interops, like I can be on Cisco, you can be on Bell Bank, different orgs, but we can communicate still. But how do we do security around that? Well, we're the only ones that can do what we call malware protection first. So obviously computers have malware protection, different things, but would you allow an email to come into your system without scanning it first? Probably not. You're not going to let a file come into your system without scanning it. Is that clear and is it good? Yes, now you can go download it. Well, if I'm talking to someone outside my org, I send them a file. They probably want to make sure before I download it to my app, to my computer, that it's safe. So we have an option in there is for malware protection right within the app. It will go talk to our Talus security organization, do the cloud thing, validate that it's solid. Okay, now you can download it and move on versus free willy-nilly, download it, and then hopefully my malware in the back end on my laptop catches it first. So one of the solutions or features that we have, again, building it around security first, and then we can worry about the feature sets, but we feel we got both now at the end of the day. So let's jump in real quick and get through this one.
Yeah, thank you. This one's going to be a quick one. I'm going to focus on essentially three things here: searching, messages, file management, and message actions. Okay, so we have another place we can communicate with people outside of email or text messaging or whatever you're using today, right? These are collaboration tools that are kind of like instant messaging, but they're with like this idea of persistency. We have a place to store data, not just like messages that we're sending to one another, like, hey, you're like, maybe give me the IP address of the router or whatever, but also files. So it almost becomes like a file management solution. So it's critical then at that point that we're able to find and get at that data quickly and easily. So I'm going to show you just a quick, simple example where I'm actually going to search for this message here, for this word hello from Addison. Now, maybe I don't know where it is, so I'm not clicked on that space. And I simply just come up here to the top and I type in hello, and it's going to search all spaces. And I'm going to find that one that's right here from Addison. Quick and easy. That could have been an IP address, it could have been a URL, it could have been anything. But let's imagine I know what space it's in because I don't work a lot of spaces with Addison. I maybe worked on one project where we had one space together, so I know it's in this one space here. So instead of going to a random space and searching at the top, I'm going to click on the space itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the search within space feature. So it's the magnifying glass icon here that says it's in this general space. And then I want to type the search phrase, and I want to be able to search within the space instead of all spaces I'm a member of. Super easy. What if I also knew it was exactly Addison who said that? So I can actually filter this down even further because in this example, hello is pretty generic, like lots of people are probably saying that. So I'm actually going to type in from colon, and then as I start typing Addison's name, it's going to allow me to select her as the filter, and then I can just further type in that keyword. So we got different levels of searching performance and power here to enable you to get to the information you're looking for. In fact, it doesn't just stop with searching messages, but it can also help me find files that were uploaded. So for example, if I type in that same hello keyword, and you may have saw this already, it was landing on messages, but I can switch it to files, and I can actually see that in a certain space, somebody uploaded a file called hello.txt. And speaking of file management, one thing that maybe you're noticing right now is that it says OneDrive on this file preview. What I'm able to do inside of a space is actually use our native WebEx storage solution. So this is on by default for everybody, and it's encrypted cloud storage for your organization that you can put retention policies around, or like David mentioned, include with malware scanning. Or we can actually connect up to 3 other external enterprise content management systems, such as OneDrive/SharePoint, Google Drive, or Box. In my case, I actually have a SharePoint connection here, so I'm going to upload a file to this space, and even if the people in the space right now today don't have access to this file, it's going to actually modify the permissions on this file such that I'm going to say everybody currently in this space is going to be able to edit this document, and as it uploads into the space here, let's just check this out. This is now uploading not a copy of the document, but the document from SharePoint. So if someone else were to click on or access this document, it pulls in real time the document down from the SharePoint cloud, and it allows them to view the most up-to-date. So we're not doing this thing where we're bouncing a document back and forth to be like, hey, I got version 3, you're on version 4. It's one document, co-authoring, co-editing, and it even allows you to do it right inside of the WebEx app when you click on it. It just loads the Office web-based application so that you can edit the documents right inside of WebEx. All right, and then the final thing that I'll show you here quickly is message actions. This goes really nicely with what we are talking about for inclusivity and like giving people a voice who don't otherwise want to speak up or type chats or anything like this. What we can do is actually come over here and select certain reactions. In this case, I'll pick it looks like it wants me to pick a skin tone here. that one. And now I can choose like a thumbs up, for example, or I can put a heart on it, like different reactions to this. I can also reply directly to create a thread. So if the conversation doesn't need to, like let's say pop into the bottom and I want to keep the relevance and the context of what the reply is, I start a thread. I can also quote that person. Say, for example, they said this 6 months ago and I found the message. I could say, this is the thing you said earlier. And I can quote that person very quickly and easily. In addition to that, I can also forward what that person said. So I'm going to go ahead and just forward this over to Elizabeth, for example. I'm going to say, look what Addison said. So I can quote, I can forward, I can copy, and then the other last thing I'll show you here is my ability to pin and flag messages. So say, for example, what she said was really important, and I want to flag that for myself. So I get this little flag icon, and then later I can come back and view all my flagged messages so that I can either use it as like a follow-up / to-do thing, or if it's just something that I deem really important and I want to keep eyes on that. Finally, if it's important to the entire space and anybody in the space should be able to see this, I'm going to go ahead and pin this message, and it's going to show up as a banner across the top as a pinned message. Okay, that's searching, file management, and message actions. Back to you, Dave.
Cool. All right. So now we're going to go to kind of this one. We're going to go through a little bit. Might try to spend a little more time here. But cloud calling. Again, cloud calling is a big thing for everybody. Microsoft, 8x8, all these different solutions up there. Us, we have different things. But at the end of the day, where did our cloud calling come from? Everyone calls it WebEx calling because that's what its name is today. Back in 2017, 2018, somewhere in that ballpark, we bought a product called BroadSoft. BroadSoft has been around for 25 years or so as a cloud calling product. #1 in the industry for those 25 years. Many features, many things, very secure, very good. But that is what our WebEx calling platform is powered by. And again, then the suite license, this is included with your user license. So again, BroadSoft, been around. Any carrier has BroadSoft if you know who BroadSoft is. So just more of where it's come from, where it started, and it came from BroadSoft. But at the end of the day, on-premise solutions have a lot of features, a lot of different things. Do you need them all? Not sure. Based on your use case, we have to go through it. But any product that does calling needs to give you options for anything you might be doing from a routing perspective. A lot of folks just need a DID and a phone number. We can do that, obviously. Everyone can do that. But what are your requirements in your organization from a calling perspective? Because if you have any older solution, including our on-prem solution, it probably does a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, our cloud calling has a full enterprise feature set. From traditional stuff to a little bit higher end requirements from E911, which we'll get into. And that same audio intelligence that we're talking about with the video or with the meetings, that's also in our calling platform. So again, I'm on the phone, I'm talking soft phone, one-to-one, or maybe it's a conference call. I can now optimize my voice and have noise removal just like I do in meeting with our calling platform. Why? Because it's in the same app that's running meetings, that's running these different applications. So at the end of the day, it's all powered again. Again, one app is the key figure here, and we can do different things in different platforms because that's where we're at. Call recording. Call recording used to always be a big thing in telephony, and you had to buy a third party and do these different things. We now include it in every user that has a cloud calling license, which again is included in the suite. So now you get call recording for every single user that would be having a suite license. And it's a push the button, always record, tell them they're going to record. All that stuff is available within the configuration. This is one, if everyone does telephony systems, know that E911 has become a big deal with the feds for a couple different things. Carries law, which is basically saying if I make a phone call 911, I got to send the PSAP or the emergency people to the right door, the right floor, and the right information immediately. It can't be, here's my address, get to this building, but it's across the way, right? It's all of the different things. We now include Red Sky, which is the 911 service provider, which will give that information to the PSAP of where are you physically in this building. And then also it covers for, again, those people working at home, me that works at a coffee shop. I need to put in my address, so if I do use my cell phone, dial 911, well, how does the system know that you're at home and not at the corporate office? We have the ability to integrate that and just simply add your address, which Anthony will show here in a little bit. And at the end of the day, we have PSTN. Well, how do I make phone calls? How do I get out to the PSTN? 3 different options. Cisco has their own calling plans now. Again, why did we buy BroadSoft? BroadSoft is in every single carrier. PSTN, we have third parties, IntelliPeer, Call Tower, different providers you can partner with today. Or, hey, I got this amazing, super cheap on-premise PRIs or SIP providers that I want to keep. Go ahead and keep that. Our cloud call control will work with any 3 of these vendors at the end of the day. And from a US and Canada, for unlimited calling US and Canada for every user, it's $2.50 per month per user for unlimited calling US and Canada and US. So that's a pretty good rate at the end of the day, but maybe you get in. Maybe you have a service contract that you can't get out of yet. We can integrate to that or the local gateway. So again, more about options within your cloud calling. But then how do you get there, right? At the end of the day, I have a Mitel, I have a ShoreTel, I have a Avaya, I have Cisco, I have all these different 20 locations, different systems. That's okay. We have the ability to integrate to all of them. So at the end of the day, if Dave's on system A, Anthony's on WebEx calling, I can 4-digit dial him just like I always do. So it gives you that ability that the day of a cutover are gone. It's do it how you want to do it. Do it by a user at a time, a floor at a time, a building at a time, whatever, however you want to do it, because we can integrate to any of the third-party vendors. As long as they do SIP from a protocol perspective, we'll integrate to them. And then we can slowly get you off that system or go as fast as you want. And at the end, we're right back to the same thing. One app. Your meetings are here, your messenger here, now all your callings are here. You have visual voicemail, transcription of the voicemail, the audio wave file of the voicemail. Your E911 will be down here. We can show that. The WebEx app. At the end of the day, same device. You can actually merge and go back and forth between your cell phone and your app. And at the end, it's all under the same app at the end of the day. And then we'll get into this one real quick. At the end of the day, we have a new service that's called WebEx Go. And that's the ability to take your cell phone, as long as it has an open secondary eSIM, which most new phones do, it's open. I can now route my DID, work DID, to that app or to that phone without an app. It goes to the native dialer of the phone using the cell service, not the data service, the cell service. So if you're in a rural area that doesn't have good LTE or good whatever, 5G, but I want to get those DIDs out there, that call out there for that service guy who's driving around the truck, I can now load up his phone with the WebEx Go on his phone, and he doesn't have to have an app. He doesn't have to have a secondary work phone. He just has to have his line open to be able to route that DID to. So this has become a very big popular for different use cases out there as well. So, and it's again, all driven by the WebEx Suite, the WebEx app. Or not the WebEx app, but the WebEx platform. And so let's quickly get into the demo real quick as we're getting down to the time.
Yep, so we're going to start with here quickly is to show you how easy it is to turn on calling for a user. So we've already shown you messaging and meetings. So say those are 2 workloads the user was already using, but they want to now have calling out of WebEx as well. I simply click on the user, come down here to their licensed services. I'm going to edit this user's license to enable the WebEx Calling Pro license. From here, I pick out which location they're going to work from, or at least which one they're going to be based out of in terms of where their phone number is. So I'll pick Site 3. Site 3 then lists all of the available or vacant DIDs that I can pick from. So I'll pick this first one. And I will give them also a short 4-digit extension so that their coworkers can call them easily. Once this completes, that's all I have to do to enable calling for this user. This user can now use the WebEx app on their mobile device through the App Store, or on their computer by either corporate installation, or they can download it themselves at webex.com. It is now acting as a soft phone. In fact, that's what I've been showing this whole time. What I didn't show you was the fact that I was clicking on or I hadn't clicked on yet, the calling tab. Now that I'm on the calling tab, you can see that I've actually made and received a lot of calls in the past. I have a dial pad where I can call it to the PSTN. I can order a pizza if I wanted to, or I can just use it to call internal. I also have some different call settings down here at the bottom, such as the ability to change my outbound caller ID if I'm a member of a hunt group or a call queue. So say, for example, I worked on the IT help desk, and when I call out to a customer of mine, I want the caller ID to show up as the help desk. So I would simply select this, and then it shows now all outbound calls from my app as coming from the help desk. I can also come over here and show you the ability for me to manage which calls I actually want to take calls from, which groups I want to take calls from. So in this case, queue number 2 here, this Site 2 all queue, maybe it's a front desk that I only cover for the hour that they're away from lunch. I simply check this box and I'm receiving calls for that group now. No longer do I have to have complicated like call center agent skilling and have to rely on a supervisor to adjust skills like throughout the day. We actually empower the user to be able to manage which calls they're going to take throughout the day. Now I can't skip over this bottom bar without showing you this E911 setting thing here. Dave actually already talked about this with the nomadic users. With the introduction of Bombs Act Phase 2 in early 2022, we actually now have a requirement as private PBX operators to always provide accurate location information for all of our users, regardless if they're on our network or not. Like for example, today I've actually joined the hotel Wi-Fi and my app is actually telling me I don't know where you are. So please tell me where you are. So I get to actually pick from a predefined list. So if it's someplace I've been before, maybe I frequent this hotel for some reason, so I've actually already typed in this hotel information in here, or it's a new place, someplace I've only been, or I will only ever be one time, I can just manually type in the information in this area. Once I click save, it actually validates the address and it sends it to Red Sky. As Dave mentioned, we partnered with Red Sky, and so now all 911 calls made from this application go directly to Red Sky, and they have advanced knowledge of where I am. Let me show you really quick the call recording feature that Dave also mentioned. So as I call this other user over here, I'm gonna go ahead and answer this. All right, so in this case, this user has call recording enabled in such a way that it's on demand. I'm not actively and automatically recording every call for this user. It's up to them to choose what to record. So they would simply click this button here to record. Then they would have the ability to pause during any sensitive portions, like if it's a customer service type thing and they're reading out account numbers or verification type stuff, they can pause that, resume it again, and then stop it at their leisure. All of the recordings are then available to that user on a private user portal through our recording partner, Dubber. And then finally, the last thing I'll show you here is call pool. So let me slide this window over just a little bit because I'm gonna now introduce my mobile phone, and I'm doing a little screen mirroring here. So what you're actually seeing is my iPhone that I have in my hand. I'm gonna unlock it, go to the WebEx app, and I'm actually gonna initiate the phone call from the desktop. So from my Mac, I'm gonna call Elizabeth. Elizabeth is gonna answer that call for me, but now I have to head out. I'm in the middle of a phone call and I gotta go to lunch or I just need to be on the road. So I'm gonna slide this over just so you can see it a little bit better. I'm gonna go to the mobile device, go to the calling tab and choose call pool. What's happening now at this moment is it's stealing the call from my desktop and it's playing the audio, and I have the call now captured on my mobile device. And it's seamless, it's fast, there's no hold music and very little delay. If I were to do the reverse, take a call from my mobile device and I came into the office and I want to now sit down on my desk, I simply use the reverse call pool feature where I click the button in the desktop application and it steals the call away from my mobile. All right, and that's what we wanted to show you about WebEx calling. Back to you, Dave.
Yep, and there's a lot of different things. There's the voice mode tabs there and different stuff like that. So full feature set is at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, it does all the telephony features that you need and all the new business features of hybrid work right at the end of the day. And then now we're getting into a little bit of contact center. At the end of the day, voice contact centers, we've been around for a long time. I got that voice call, but as you heard that the discussion this morning is things are different. You know, now I need to do SMS, chat, depending on your use case. But at the end, calling is calling. That's never gonna go away, right? We always gotta be able to service that person who wants to call in and talk to somebody. And at the end, we can do that easy with our cloud WebEx contact center. No big servers, no nothing, just all cloud-based as like everything else. But at the end, omni-channel is a new big, multi-channel is big words, but how do I service my customers? Maybe I'm international, I am using customers that are on WhatsApp, and they want to be able to get into my contact center, or I'm just using SMS. Healthcare is a big one for this right now to basically take calls away from the contact center. It's all self-serve. So we call it call deflection by using self-help through SMS. Who are you? When's your appointment? Yep, it's integrated into Epic. So Epic will give them their dates and different things like that. Oh, you want to change your appointment time? Fine, here's some open times, great. Never talking to anyone. It's just all through bots in the SMS app. 6 days later, again, they need a change. They go right back to the same string, say help, opens up a bot, opens up the agent, and away they go. Again, never talking to someone, but at the end they go, I just need to talk to somebody. They can do it right from that SMS, WhatsApp, whatever it might be. So it's about giving the options at the end. Where are my customers at? How did my contact center do? How many calls did they answer? Where are they failing? Why is this, for whatever reason, I'm failing here? Too many abandoned phone calls. Visual dashboards so supervisors, people like that could see fast what's going on in their contact center, real time versus we'll pull the report. Well, a week ago we were terrible. That doesn't help me now. That means a week ago we were terrible. I want to make sure we're excellent right now. And how do I get that? That's through our analyzer. So again, lots of dashboards, real time. And again, it doesn't matter what the channel is, calling, SMS, email, it will give that whole aspect of what's happening. And again, WebEx experience, right? At the end, how do I analyze where my customer's been, who they've been, and not just about that phone call. If I get a call in, I want my agent to know that Dave Snider's called in, or he SMS'd in, or he emailed in, and here's what they talk about, transcription of that journey from a week ago, a year ago. That new agent, or maybe it's the same agent, is gonna have all that information presented to them about where that customer's been. Because at the end of the day, no matter what the business is, it's about enabling that life cycle, right, of me coming in, and how do I get through the process. This could be a day, this could be a year, this could be 10 years as you're trying to keep your customers, right? So just a quick visual as you're kind of running through what the contact centers can do. It's all about the different channels now, but while still serving the basics. But now you have all these options. It's kind of that walk, crawl, run, or crawl, walk, run, whatever. You get there as you get there, but this will open up and it's there when you want to use it at one cost. And this is more about our integration, again, depending on what you do. Big ones here, Epic, Oracle, AWS, SAP, software, I can't think of the right name, but Salesforce. Big ones that are all integrated in for that journey, integrated into the CPaaS platform or a WebEx contact platform. And at the end, that's contact center. A lot of different options. We could spend a whole day talking through contact center stuff. But at the end, the one thing that's cool about our platform is it's all done under one control hub. We call it the control hub. So everything you're going to do, everything you saw here, all the configuration, everything that you do is done via the control hub. All your analysis, all your stats, call stats, et cetera, are right done from this one control hub. Oops. It integrates into, that was a contact center, it integrates to, but at the end, one app, one throat to choke to do all your configuration, all your analytics, everything is done from one platform. So that's where we're gonna have Anthony kind of dive in real quick.
Yeah, and I think I'll focus on two areas here that I think are super cool and critical to using Control Hub, which, by the way, if you read that backwards, it's the hub for controlling WebEx. It's all things WebEx. This is the one spot that you need to log into for messaging, meeting, calling, contact center, et cetera. So in troubleshooting, I'm gonna just pick on this one user here, and I'm gonna be able to see all the different phone calls and meetings this user has been a part of. And if I kind of just scroll around on this, and maybe I'll click on like this one, for example, here, let's see. Oops, sorry, not that one. Let's go even further back. Let's go on the way back. So in this case, I can actually see Anthony's experience in terms of metrics. I can see the network path that his communication went out. So every hop along the way, I can see he's using Quest, which is then backed up by level 3, and then it keeps on going, and then eventually it gets into the WebEx data center. So that's a really cool tool. I can also see like what was happening on his laptop at the time. Like what was the CPU usage or what was the memory usage during that meeting that could have been a contributing factor to the meeting experience that person had. So troubleshooting is really powerful for meetings and calling. Our analytics allow us to answer the question of like, how are users using WebEx? How are they using the tools, the devices, the services that we're putting in front of them? So this gives us some really powerful dashboards about metrics in terms of adoption rates, like how often are people using messaging, how often are people using calling, who's calling us right now? Maybe I had to do a little dispute resolution, maybe there's some bill back to departments I need to take care of. All of that type of information across all of the WebEx services are available to you with very quick and easy to build dashboards. So really, I think those are the two key areas, analytics and troubleshooting, that I want to highlight for you today. Though as you can see on the left-hand side, there's many more things to explore in WebEx Control Hub. That's it.
Perfect. All right. In the end, summary, at the end we kind of start with this. At the end, it's one collaboration suite under one app, under one control hub, and it's all together. It just depends on how you want to use the application, but it makes it easier for you guys to consume based on your requirements you have. There's no additional cost. It's all up front. We give you everything you need to get you what you need from a business perspective done. So that's the WebEx suite that came out about a year or so ago, just to make it easier for you guys to consume, deploy at a really, really affordable cost at the end of the day. So that is our presentation, and we're going to use our own dog food here. And if you want, you can scan that Slido, and then you can go ahead and do a Slido poll, have a couple questions there around the stuff we presented today, and you can kind of go from there.
We will also do a Q&A in there as well, and we'll have it open for the rest of the week. So anybody who's attending virtually or here in the room, if you do scan the QR code and you use it, it'll be open all week, and we will answer your questions, and you can see what questions other people are asking.
Was there any questions by anyone? Should be good. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you, Dave and Anthony, for a great presentation. Looks like everyone's meeting in the big room over there, but let's give it up for these guys.
Appreciate it, guys.